So we'll get through this really quick. We're going to talk about Buds Pro versus AirPods Pro versus the FreeBuds Pro really quick. We're going to go through 5 different things to see, kind of which one is better as a comparison here live. And once we get done with that, then we'll go ahead and get into we'll get into a live Q&A. So if you guys have any questions, anything that I didn't cover, then go ahead and hit me then. Jonas Diaz, it's all good, bro. It's all good. I actually left it as a pinned comment, so you can check that out if you want to. I go a little bit more in depth there, but we're just going to do a quick comparison today right here on the spot. So let's see here. Let's get started. So first up, let's talk about earbuds with multi-point connection, right? So when we're talking about multi-point connectivity, we're talking about earbuds that can connect to more than one device at the same time. So if you want to have your earbuds connected to like your tablet and your phone, and then like, let's say you pick up one or pick up the other, you could use them both. You don't have to like, disconnect and then reconnect. So multi-point connections. All 3 of these have multi-point connections, but in first place for multi-point connection, that's going to go to the Huawei FreeBuds Pro. They have a legit multi-point connection that can work across pretty much any device. So I have them paired up to a Samsung. I had them paired up to a Pixel. I also had them paired up to a Pixel and to an iPhone, both paired at the same time. Multi-point connection is on point with the Huawei FreeBuds Pro. So 100%. The other 2, the Galaxy Buds Pro and the AirPods Pro, they're kind of tied for third on this one, because while they both do have multi-point connection, they only work within their own ecosystem. So the Galaxy Buds Pro do have multi-point, but only with Samsung devices, the same way that Apple has multi-point, but only with Apple devices. So kind of a pain in the butt, right? They're both trying to build their own ecosystems. I get it. I can respect it. But it's just one of those things that if you have the capability to do so, why not do a solid for your customers? Why not just, hey, you know what? We can do this. Let's just give it to everybody. And I know Apple's not going to do that. That's just how they do it. But come on, Samsung, like really? Really? So yeah, so they can both definitely do it, but yeah. Oh no, and Andy, I know that there's others that do have it, but we're not talking about those right now. So just to be clear. So, and then next, let's talk about the controls. So they all have, touch control and like some pressure control and things of that nature. For controls, for me, my personal favorite out of these 3 is going to be the Buds Pro. They're the most responsive. You can definitely change what the controls do, but for me, it's just the responsiveness of them. Like a quick tap, a quick double tap, a long press. It always responds every time. I don't have any issues with like accidental touches or anything like that. So overall, the experience of just controlling the earbuds themselves has definitely been better with the Galaxy Buds Pro. Number 2 is going to be the FreeBuds Pro. And they're not quite as responsive, but they do have some pretty cool controls, including squeeze and swipe, which is kind of cool. So like if you want to swipe for the volume, you kind of like swipe up like that or swipe down. It actually works really, really well. It's obviously very intuitive. The only reason that I'm knocking it is that they put it on the front side of the earbud versus the outside, which I'm like, all right, but it is what it is. There's some limitations there, especially when it comes to packaging. So, but that's just one of the things that I definitely liked about them. And third, we got the AirPods Pro. The controls aren't bad, but they are a bit on the limited side. Once again, we still don't have volume control. So that's something that really just gets me like, yeah, I can ask Siri to turn the volume up, but like, I shouldn't have to, right? I shouldn't have to. When we got some earbuds that come in this expensive, I shouldn't have to do that. So as far as controls go, Buds Pro are going to get the first place. FreeBuds Pro coming in second, and the AirPods Pro are coming in third. So yeah, so that's kind of how that's working out there. And thank you, Tim. I appreciate you going in and asking people to hit the like button. I do appreciate that. So, hey, Michael Corcoran, how you doing, brother? Sorry, just taking a quick sip of water here while we're going through this. So next up, let's get into the ambient mode. Now, as far as the ambient mode, the winner of these 3 is going to be the Apple AirPods Pro. Now, it's just because their microphones are definitely superior to the other 2. It's much cleaner. It's much more natural. So whatever voodoo DSP they have going on, whatever computational audio they're doing for the microphones, it comes in very naturally. It works very, very well. There's a noticeable difference between Apple and the other two that I'm talking about here. The Huawei FreeBuds Pro would come in second here. It's more natural sounding than the Galaxy Buds. There is the ability to have it focus on voices, so that is very nice. So it is very, very good. Like, it's not quite AirPods Pro. I know some people said that it is, and it's really not, but it is actually very, very good. And then in third place, we've got the Galaxy Buds Pro. Now, it's still really, really good. Still one of the best ones on the market. And the fact that in the app, you have the ability to adjust the power of the ambient sound. I really, really like that. So it's, you know, still 1, 2, 3 here, but it really doesn't matter because all three of these have some of the best ambient sound on the market. But just to be clear, for ambient sound, you've got the AirPods Pro in first place. We've got the Huawei FreeBuds Pro in second. And then we've got the Galaxy Buds Pro in third when it comes to ambient sound. Now, just to be clear, before we keep going any further, anything that comes in third place is not bad. Like, just because something comes in third place doesn't mean that it's trash or anything like that. I just want to make sure I'm making that clear. It's just nuance here. So that's all. We're just talking about nuance because all three of these are excellent. So after that, let's talk about the active noise cancellation. So active noise cancellation. So in order to do this test, here's what I did. Pulled out the decibel meter. I turned on my speakers and I turned on airplane cabin noise, like for a jet that's like cruising at altitude, right? So not taking off, not landing, but cruising. So normally when you're in a jet cruising, it's somewhere between 85 and 90 decibels worth of ambient noise. So I turned the volume up, got it to right about 90 decibels. And that's where I did the testing. So put on the AirPods Pro, put on the FreeBuds Pro, put on the Galaxy Buds Pro to see which one, for me, which one I perceived to have the strongest of the active noise cancellation. So in first place here is going to be the Apple AirPods Pro, like easily. It's easily the better of the three for active noise cancellation. So that's something that it tamped down so much more of the midtones of that jet noise that I was actually kind of caught by surprise. Second place, you got the Buds Pro. It does an excellent job. It really, really removes a lot of that low end rumble of the jet engines. So very, very good. And then FreeBuds Pro, also very good, just not quite as strong. Even though with the FreeBuds Pro, you also do have the ability, they give you 4 adjustments, including a dynamic mode that automatically adjusts the active noise cancellation based on environmental noise. So that is kind of trick. But even at its ultra setting, it wasn't quite as strong as the Galaxy Buds Pro in high mode, because I did kind of skip over that, but the Galaxy Buds Pro do have a high-low ANC setting, and you can hear the difference between high and low, and all the testing was done on high. So just to be clear, first place, we're giving ANC to the AirPods Pro, second place to the Galaxy Buds Pro, and third place to the Huawei FreeBuds Pro. So very, very good, and actually a lot better than I expected. Like, even from the FreeBuds Pro, they performed much, much better than I had expected. But yeah, so that's where we're at right there with the active noise cancellation. Everybody who's just popping into the chat, welcome. The only reason I'm not addressing you yet is because we're going through a quick comparison between the AirPods Pro, the Galaxy Buds Pro, and the Huawei FreeBuds Pro. So next up, let's talk about that volume. All right, so let's get into the volume check. So right now, as far as volume is concerned, the AirPods Pro were the loudest of these three. Now, it is a noticeable difference where I can listen to the AirPods Pro comfortably around like 80% is about as high as I want to go with them, but there was so much more room there and they got so much louder that it was very noticeable. On my own volume scale, I gave them a 9 out of 10. The Buds Pro come in just behind that with an 8 out of 10. Those I can listen to them comfortably up to around 90%, but I don't like doing that. Like, I don't like listening to music that loud. I like to turn it down so I can protect my own hearing. The Huawei FreeBuds Pro came in around a 7.5 out of 10, so just a little bit quieter than the Buds Pro, but it is noticeable. So those are some where I can easily turn those up to max volume, and you know, I don't want to listen to it like that, but probably like 95%. You know, at full volume, it can be a little on the loud side. So definitely not as loud as the Buds Pro, definitely not as loud as the AirPods Pro. So as far as volume goes, the AirPods Pro come in number 1. The Buds Pro are coming in number 2, and the FreeBuds Pro are coming in at number 3. So now, last but not least, right, we got the big one, sound quality. All right. So sound quality for these earbuds. So for me, in first place here, we've got the Galaxy Buds Pro. So it is a very noticeable difference. And the differences that were made, there were some hardware changes made on the Galaxy Buds Pro. They've added a larger bass driver. They've done some different tuning, and it is a very warm, very rich kind of tuning. And I'm telling you, for people who have the previous versions of the Galaxy Buds who thinks that these are just going to be the same thing, they really are not. And it is a massive improvement over the previous versions. So for me, just sound quality based on what I like to hear, I definitely prefer the Galaxy Buds Pro, and that's why they're taking the #1 spot here for sound quality out of these three. In second place, we've got the Huawei FreeBuds Pro. So they have a nice natural tuning to them as well, and they actually sound very good. It's like not as clear or crisp as I would have liked them to be, but a very nice, like warm mid-range to them, which I do prefer. So vocal clarity, things of that nature, it comes in very, very nicely without being harsh or piercing. It's a very safe tune. So they're getting the second place. Number 3, you've got the AirPods Pro. Now, the good thing about the AirPods Pro is they are highly versatile based on a lot of different genres that you can listen to. But for me personally, they are taking the third spot in sound quality behind these other two. So for sound quality, literally for sound quality, first place going to the Galaxy Buds Pro, second place going to the Huawei FreeBuds Pro, and third place going to the AirPods Pro. So for me, overall, all of these are going to do very, very well for whatever ecosystem. I think the FreeBuds Pro are probably going to be one of the more versatile ones because they work very well, whether it's with iOS or with Android. But as far as Samsung owners or Android users, definitely the Galaxy Buds Pro are going to be the way to go, but you can still use them with iOS as soon as they update that app. I mean, you can still pair them up to them and use them, but we're waiting for that app support to drop. As far as the AirPods Pro, yeah, you can pair them with Android devices, but you're not going to get any kind of support. There's not going to be any app support, anything like that. So that's kind of the difference there. But overall, my choice, if I had to pick one of these three, just for like my own listening pleasure, if I just want to listen to music, watch videos, things of that nature, I'm definitely going with the Galaxy Buds Pro 100%. If you're in the ecosystem, if you're in the Apple ecosystem, yeah, most definitely rock with the AirPods Pro. You will not be disappointed. But yeah, so that's pretty much it as far as that comparison goes. So we got